welcome once again, everybody, to yet another episode of Face2Face with Rockosaurus. Today, we are very pleased to introduce you to two members of the excellent Ashen Reach. Let me introduce you to Kyle Stanley and Paddy Cummings from Ashen Reach.
Hello.
Welcome, guys.
Hello. How you doing? You all right?
How you doing? You all right?
Oh, living the dream. Can't complain.
Well, the lockdown dream, yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, you've been pretty busy just lately with a fantastic release of your album Homecoming, which I have here, as you can see. Absolutely superb album. Now, that's certainly keeping you out of mischief, I should think, putting that out there and promoting that under very difficult circumstances, of course. But let me take you back a bit to the origins of Ashen Reach and how you guys know each other, how you got together as a band right from the off.
The way this lineup came about was a pretty crazy story. I suppose I should start from pretty much the last thing we did with the old lineup, which was those two support slots with Bullet for My Valentine over in Russia. We played Moscow and St. Petersburg. The two biggest shows of our lives. Like it was like 6,000 and then 8,000 at Moscow. So it was pretty insane. And then we come home and we have two members leave, which was like a pretty big spanner in the works. We really wanted to come home. You know, we come home on such a high, and we want to do everything we can to sort of capitalize on what we've just done and keep the momentum going. And then it all just grinds to a halt. So myself, Jess, and Mike got our heads together, and we had a couple of conversations to decide where we wanted to go. It knocked the wind out of our sails in a big way. So initially we weren't really sure whether we wanted to continue or not. But after about a week of inner turmoil and conflict, we basically said, no, this is too good a thing to just let die. So we put out some ads on Facebook and some physical stuff in like rehearsal rooms and whatnot around the city. And we got a message from Joe. We asked people to send in people playing along to songs we already had out, just to get a vibe of how they were as musicians, how quickly, I should say, that they could pick up a song. So that was like the first step, and then we got people in for live auditions, and Joe just massively impressed us. We got along with him straight away, hit it off. You know, we felt like we knew him a lot longer than the 5 minutes we've been in the room with him. And once we'd had that audition, we were like, the three of us were basically unanimous in saying, yeah, we definitely want Joe. So we got in another rehearsal, told him that he was in, basically, and if he'd be happy to help us find the singer. The singer search took a bit longer. We kind of struck lucky with Joe. We got him pretty much straight away. But having said that, Kyle came along not that long after. We got videos of people singing our tunes. People messaged us and stuff, and we were going through. And then we got a message off a friend of ours called Catherine, who used to put on gigs and stuff around Liverpool, so we knew her from that. And she sent us a message saying, do you know what, guys, I don't know why I haven't thought about this before, but I know someone who would absolutely be spot on for what you're trying to do. And then she put us on to Kyle. And then Kyle sent us a video of himself singing, I think it was Gone Tomorrow, which was one of our much older tracks, and he was full of cold.
Yeah, I had a full-on chest infection. I was like,
he actually still sounds brilliant. It's like if he sounds this good with a chest infection and bloody black lung, then what's he gonna sound like after a bit of Calpol? So we got him in for yet again another live audition, and another case of just hitting it off immediately. Similar mindset, similar sense of humor. You know, that was a big one for us. Like, it's all right being the best singer in the country or the best guitar player in the country or whatever, but if you are not an easy person to get along with, then you're no good to us. Yeah. So we got really lucky with Kyle and Joe, to be honest.
Yeah, it was. I remember when you messaged me, because I sent them videos of like some of my old stuff, and then they were just like, "Ah, could you sing one of our songs?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I've got to like." I couldn't go. I didn't want to go. Could I wait because of chest infection? If I didn't want to, like, in case they thought like, oh, it's just an excuse or something. So I was like, let's just power through this then. So I did like a verse of the chorus, and then like it was dead funny because like, as soon as I stopped like doing the recording, I'm just like coughing my guts up. It's just I'm pretty sure I had Rona before Rona was a thing.
Yeah, and you spread it around, did you?
Cannot confirm nor deny that one.
Yeah, it actually wouldn't surprise me if Kyle was patient zero, to be honest.
Sounds like he was patient -1, actually, but
I had it before it was cool.
Excellent. Well, I'm really glad you guys stuck at it and, you know, didn't give up, you know, after Moscow and all that, because that would have been a crying shame.
Yeah, so are we. Definitely. Like, I mean, looking back at what we've accomplished in just over a year, you know, you look back on those little decisions that, you know, those crossroads, and you think, you know, imagine if we'd have gone another way or, you know, done something differently. And, you know, we're just glad to be where we are, even if it is stuck in the house at the moment.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'd like to touch on the Kickstarter campaign, which was how I first sort of found out about you guys on the New Wave of Classic Rock on Facebook. You know, where they were saying, you know, give these guys a go. And yeah, well, I had no hesitation. I banged straight in, and yeah, consequently, I get it before everyone else, which was nuts. But, I mean, you clearly had phenomenal support in the Kickstarter campaign. I mean, how did that feel, just getting that support for a relatively unknown band?
It was surreal. It was just like, it was like real quite overwhelming in a good way, because it was just like, oh wow, these people are like, they heard Tear It Down, and I think was Prey out at the time, or was it just Tear It Down?
I think Prey was just about out.
Yeah,
I think.
So yeah, it was like we had Tear It Down out, and that, which was a year today, Tear It Down came out, and it was just mad, like all the support from nowhere, because it wasn't just like, usually, you know, like when you're up and coming, you always get like your friends and your family supporting you, which is like awesome, but then like we were getting like strangers and random strangers just like going, oh, who are these guys? These are amazing. We were just like, okay, then we've got something special going on here. And then once we saw the Kickstarter, like the support on the Kickstarter and everything like that, it was just like, oh my god, like people are like genuinely are believing in us. Like we're completely new. Like they've heard one song unless they've seen us live. Like a couple of people saw us live, so it's like, well, they've heard like 5. I think we only had like 4 or 5 songs at that point, didn't we?
Yeah, it was 6 at most. You know, enough to fill half an hour of set time, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it was like like for them to just kind of go like, yeah, let's just throw money at these guys and like let's see what they could come up with in the album. It was amazing, and it fueled us to make the album as good as can be. Like obviously we wanted to make it the best we could, but it was like obviously when that we saw the support and all the complete strangers just giving us like all this like support and like investing in us and stuff, it made us like go, oh my god, like we're gonna do this, we need to make this like the best album ever. And it proper fueled us, and it inspired us to write the album Homecoming. Amazing. We've had people that we've never spoke to before in our lives and now like part of the Ashen Reach family now, so it's really nice. We've met so many new people in that, and with the Kickstarter and everything, it's been absolutely unreal.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, certainly from your experiences, I'm sure you would recommend Kickstarter to other up and coming bands.
Definitely, 100%. It's a great platform. The one thing I would say is always set the bar a bit lower than you actually need or want, because the way Kickstarter works is if you, let's say you want £5,000 to record an album, or any amount really, it doesn't matter about the amount. Once you've set that goal, if the time runs out and you haven't reached that goal, all the backers get refunded.
Yeah.
And you don't get any of the money. So what I would say to anyone doing a Kickstarter is always set the bar a little bit lower, because you can go above your goal. You know, it can go infinitely if enough people are willing to invest, but you need to hit that goal at least to get to see the money. So yeah, again, we were just over the moon with the investment and the support in us, because as Kyle said, we're incredibly new to the scene, and you know, as individuals, we've been around for a long time playing music, you know, 10 years or so, if not more. But this project is very much in its infancy, and to see so many people putting in as much as they did and showing that much support, it really was breathtaking. And yeah, like Kyle said, it really did fuel the fire when we were writing and recording. Like, we need to show these people that they've not
wasted the money.
They've not lit a dud, basically.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, with a campaign like that, for punters to invest, there is that leap of faith, you know. But I think, well, I think I'd only heard one track of yours before I put my money where my mouth is, and you know, but that was enough to say, yeah, these guys have got something, you know, and I can see a great album out of this. You certainly fulfilled that, and that's, you know, that is great credit to you guys.
Thank you.
It's not only the sound of the album; it's actually the production of the physical product. You know, I mean, it's not just a, you know, jewel case and flip it open. There's a silly little bit of sleeve notes in there. That is a beautiful, like, you know, trifold production, and even the feel of the CD is nice. It actually feels a bit leathery. I don't know whether that was intentional, but
yes, it was. I'm joking.
If you know, I'm sorry, if you got a leather fetish, you'll love this album. Yeah.
we sourced only the finest cows for that CD, mate.
Absolutely. Yeah, you sure no cows were actually harmed in the production?
Absolutely not.
But that, to me, that, I mean, I love to have a physical product to hold, you know. Much as one will listen to stuff on Spotify, that to me is a good research tool. But it, you know, if I like something, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
But, you know, and to have that physical product looking and feeling as good as this one, that you've put a lot of time and effort into that, and great work. So well done. You know,
Oh, thank you.
very much.
yeah, not just for the music, but for the whole concept. You know,
I think it's general. I think it's a good statement, to be honest, on the what the music scene is like, especially in the rock and metal genre. Like, there's a lot of people, much like yourself, who will support bands in a monetary sense, and they understand how important it is for the bands to do what they do. They need support, and they need the fans, and they need, you know, without people actually buying the physical copies and, you know, downloading the digital versions and stuff, like streaming on Spotify is amazing, and it's such a useful tool. But, you know, everyone knows about like the minuscule amounts people get per stream on Spotify. That is no way to, you know, financially support the bands. So when people buy the merch and they buy the physical copies, it really does make a world of difference. Like, we've noticed, especially like with the amount of pre-orders we've had, and people buying merch bundles and t-shirts and just physical copies of the album. Like, what we've seen from that in a financial sense is incredible, and like like what we've received will go so far. You know, it funds new merch, it funds future recordings, it funds, you know, transport to gigs when gigs eventually get going again. You know, bed and breakfast, or just a crappy room with a carpet on the floor, just anything. Like, it really does go so far. And I suppose just a massive thank you is in order to everyone who's bought something from us, because it really does make a world of difference.
Yeah, because all the money we make from the merch and the CDs and everything, that goes like straight back into the band. Like, none of us go, like, we're not like, oh, we've got this money to split 5 ways. No, it just 100% just goes straight back into the band, because it's like what Paddy said, is be like, we might need like to rent a van, or like we want to make a new video or something like that, or we need to buy new merch. Like, we like, one of them is like, people are asking us to, you know, for vinyls. It's like, right now we can't afford the vinyls, but obviously when gigs start rolling back in again, everyone can start buying more merch and everything like that. All the money then we can invest into vinyls, because like that's been quite a popular one. Like, we've had quite a few requests for it, so we want to, soon as we obviously, when gigs and all that happen, or like, and we make enough, we can go, all right, here's the money to go straight into that, and then we can sell more merch, and we can make more different types of merch and everything like that.
Yeah, no, funny enough, you preempted a question I was going to ask, was,
all right,
is there going to be a vinyl? I mean, but you know, you've answered that very well. I mean, you know, because vinyl is a big thing these days. I buy vinyl. Very often not to play, funny enough. But
the collection.
They are collector's items to me. You know, it's you know, because I like, obviously, to have them signed by the band. I mean, and some of them are absolute works of art, on heavyweight vinyl, with, you know, coloured vinyl, splattered vinyl, transparent vinyl, all sorts of vinyl, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like the old days, you know, when I was a lad, and it was like, it was black, whether you like it or not, you know, any kind of light, as long as it's black, that's all you got. But
it's like you mentioned before about the CD. Like, a lot of work went into the design of the physical CD, and we did and ah for a while about how to present it and stuff, and we wanted it to look as, you know, as clean and as pleasant on the eye as possible, and we wanted it to be, you know, a nice product for people to, you know, cherish and keep hold of. And it's an even bigger deal with vinyl. Like, it's one thing to just go, yeah, we can just stick a big, you know, black disc in a sleeve and just ship it off to people with a picture of us on the front or whatever. But it's just, when you think of the origins of collecting music, physical music, and the old school vibe of going to a shop and buying a vinyl, you'd open it up, it'd have artwork, it'd have little bits and bobs, you know, extra things that you wouldn't otherwise get. And I knew that vinyl was a big investment. It was going to cost a lot to produce them, and the margins on those are a lot smaller than like a CD, for example. But you really don't want to. We didn't want to half-arse it, and just throw something out there. We want it to be spot on. And as Kyle mentioned, with the financial situation that we're in at the moment, the demand just isn't there to where it's worth spending the amount it would cost on making a run of vinyls. So, as he mentioned, once we get gigging and stuff again and we get a bit more money under our belt, it'll definitely be something we'll be heavily considering.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's there are other priorities.
Well, it's like paying the rent and living, isn't there, for a start?
Yeah.
No, I mean that's totally appreciated.
If anyone watching would like to support us, would like to buy the album or a T-shirt, or we've got lots of bits and bobs on the website. If you go to ashenreach.co.uk/store, everything we have available is on there.
Talk for a moment about your track Epiphany and the video that goes with it. What was the inspiration for the track and for the video?
It was kind of a mix of a lot of things, like Epiphany, like with how the year's been going and stuff like that. It was like there's a lot of like we all wrote it together, like so we were kind of all in the right mindset, because we were saying like how the year is, and like we're holding out for something, and it can be anything. It could be like you want a new job, or you want it, like as the video is, it's getting out of an abusive, toxic relationship or something like that. And we just kind of delved into the mind of like feeling it, like insecurities and stuff like that. And we all chipped in and wrote, and just Epiphany came to it. Like the chanting and stuff like that came, like, I started just going, oh, and then I was like, oh, let's try and get getting like Paddy and Mike to do it as well with us, and it just sounded really good, like, and it was just like, oh, that's how it added the kind of like thumpiness with the drums and that, and it was just like, it just sounded great. And then obviously
very tribal atmosphere, in those early sections of the verse. It was definitely a cool addition, and it was another thing that just made the song a little bit different, which is one of the main goals we wish to achieve with everything we do. Is it's so important that it's not just regurgitations of what people have been doing for years, and we wanted to really strive to make it. We went through different structures, different guitar parts, we really honed that track. It was one of the most worked on the whole record, for sure. And like Kyle said, it was extremely collaborative. It was one of the most collaborative songs on the album. Everyone had a finger in that pie, so to speak. But it's a more common thing now, definitely, with the way we write. Like we all chip in where we can, where it's applicable.
Yeah.
In the recordings of the chants, that's all five of us singing.
Yeah.
Like all of us, I think. Like, so the higher O, that's Jess, and then you've got like the really lows, which is like Joe as well, and then like us three doing it, like me, Mike, and Paddy doing the mids. It was like that came to be because I was listening to The Who a lot, as in HU, the Mongolian band.
Yeah.
I was just like, I think this would really work, and then it just did. You're like, oh my god, it sounds really good. And with the video, we wanted it hard hitting. So we wanted like obviously like a normalish, like you want your ordinary couple doing well, like in a nice house and stuff like that. But you find out that it's toxic, it's abusive and stuff like that. But we wanted the male to be the victim.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't get talked about enough.
No.
It doesn't, especially with what's been going on in the news with Johnny Depp and stuff like that. Like he's a victim but he's taken the brunt of it and stuff. So we wanted to highlight, like with the whole album, we wanted to highlight the issues that people don't like to talk about.
Yeah.
So we wanted to get that out there because it gets people listening, it gets people thinking more, and hopefully, like, we want our music to help people as well. Yeah. If we can even help, like with Prey, there was a stalking hotline at the end and stuff like that. If we can help one person, then we've done our job. Like we just want to make the world a better place. Yeah.
No, I mean, it's great to see an album out there with a social conscience. It's not just a bunch of songs. They are great narratives, and they tell stories and they do highlight issues, and that's it's unusual these days, but more often not, people are just looking for a tune, but to actually make statements the way you have is remarkable, and applaud you for it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I mean, you've done a great job with that.
But it's a funny thing about Epiphany, really. Like the way that I just want to touch on it a little bit more because it's one of the more interesting stories of like song subject. It was like there are so many ways to interpret it, and that was one of the struggles with coming up with an idea for a music video. Like I had some lyrics. They were closer to the beginning of the song, like, recycle days that drive me insane, justify your tomorrow. It was more earlier on where my contributions lay lyrically, but in my head, when I was writing those parts, it was like the idea of someone who's trying to convince people that they are a somebody or that they have a life, via social media. So many people like these days, and I've seen it with many people on a personal level, they try and live this fantasy through social media. Their whole world revolves around how many likes they get, how many comments they get and stuff, but there's actually no substance to their existence. They don't live for anything. It's just the next post. And then as the song, as more people input, it kind of warped into something a little bit different. So there was still a bit of that in there, but again, it's one of them. You don't like talking too much about subjects because, as I've said to a few other people recently, it's like when the artist sort of outlines this is exactly what the song's about, it becomes a hell of a lot harder for people to interpret it differently because it's like, oh, there's the answer now. And it holds a lot of interpretive value, that song still, because it's not so black and white, but the toxic relationship viewpoint was probably the hardest hitting and the easiest to convey as a strong message in a video. So that is ultimately why we went with that.
Because there's a bit in the video that kind of shows what Paddy was on about. Like in the video, you have Matt and Tash, and she's like taking a picture and stuff like that, and she's like, and he's like obviously looking really fed up and miserable, and then she's kind of like having a go at him, like obviously this isn't Instagram worthy or something like that. It was obviously like, and so it's like to the people who on social media, that's like this perfect happy couple and stuff. But obviously in reality, it wasn't. Like, so when we wanted the video as well, we wanted like a couple with that chemistry that worked. So I've worked with Matt and Tash. I've worked with them for years, like years ago in Butlins. And I was like, and they tour the world as magicians, like they're a magician couple. Right. So I was like, oh my God, I know these perfect people. So they came along and did the video, and the chemistry with them too, like it hits hard. Like you see it, we were watching it when we were filming. And there was points where we were looking at each other going, are they actually having a go at each other? Like, oh God, like have we caused the kickoff? But no, they were just acting. There was a point where Matt wanted Tash to slap him. We were like, so like kind of hit him on. We were a bit like, maybe.
The great thing about those two is obviously Kyle knowing them was a big help, and having them on hand to help us out. And we really must thank them again for doing us solid and coming up here and recording that for us, because it was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very convincing performance. I mean,
phenomenal actors and like that. They're called The Conjurer. Yeah. That's their magician show.
They also have a background in theatre and pantomime and stuff, so we knew they could act as well.
Yeah.
So it came across, I think, very well in the video.
I mean, just thinking about the other members of the band, I mean, obviously, yeah, it's interesting you have a female drummer. That's not intended as a sexist comment in any way, shape or form, because, I mean, there does seem to be a great rise in female drummers now, thank God, I mean, I can think of several. I mean, Jermaine Shaw-Taylor now has a female drummer. Hannah Mackay from, formerly of the Amorettes. And you got Robin from Stone Broken. And now we have Jess from Ashen Reach. I mean, it's great to see the girls actually getting a look in, banging the pots. It's absolutely wonderful.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, how long has she been drumming? Is that a long time?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've known Jess for years, and she's been drumming since like a very young age. She got into it through like, most people have like, an epiphany. Pardon the pun.
We're back there again.
Most musicians have that, light bulb moments where they see an artist and just connects with them, and it makes them want to become an artist themselves. So like, for me it was like, Hey Joe, like it's like, I mean, my dad's like, he had an old like Sony Ericsson bloody brick phone, and he had like Hey Joe by Hendrix like saved on his music files, and he played it to me when I was about 10 years old, and I had the solo in that, and I was just like, holy, like I need to know how to do that before I die. So that was like my sort of light bulb moment. But Jess didn't really have that. She didn't really have an artist or like or any sort of, inspiration in that regard. She just played like Rock Band on the Xbox, and she was always like drawn towards the drums. And she was like, I wonder what it'd be like to drum for real. So eventually she ends up with a drum kit and starts taking lessons, and that's how she sort of landed behind the kit.
Yeah. No, that's interesting to hear, because obviously, we hear different tales from different people, how they've actually got into it. And more often than not, there is an inspirational artist who's actually sort of said, well, spoken to them, through the media of their instrument, and said, that this is what you have to do. It's interesting when somebody hasn't had that, and yet still, excels at drumming, or any instrument for that matter. But yeah, I mean, it's great. Carl, what got you into music?
Well, Well, I started singing when I was a lot younger. I was like, I just always got into like, I've always just found it fun, like singing and stuff like that when I used to be in school and stuff. And then, I've always just been into music. So I started learning piano, but like, I got a bit bored of it because like they were putting me in lessons, but they kind of forced me into the piano a bit. And I was a bit like, yeah. And then I started listening to Slipknot when I was about like 13, 14, and I was like obsessed with them. And then like I was obsessed with Joey Jordison. Like I've actually got a Joey shrine right there. I don't know if you can see. But yeah, so I started learning the drums. Like I've been I started learning how to play like all the songs by him and stuff like that. So I went to college to do it. And then I got back into singing because they were looking for singers, and my mate was like, Kyle can sing, and I was just like, shut up, no, I can't, because I had no confidence in it then, because obviously like my voice broke and stuff, so I kind of like just gave up on the singing thing. So I had to do Bill Withers' Ain't No Sunshine, and then it just kind of went from there. Like I started doing like karaoke all the time. Like got into it, and then I joined Butlands, and then I got a job in Haven, singing in Haven. Then I joined the Take That tribute, and then and then I was in like a proper I was in like a genty metal band, and then but I didn't want to scream anymore. Like obviously I scream every now and again in the tracks where it fits. Yeah, I was like, I was talking to Murph, going, I just want to sing like properly, like in a band. So obviously then Murph was like, I know a band, and then obviously that's how it is. Yeah, Slipknot was probably the thing that got me into like being in a band, like maybe go, I want to be in a band. But main singing was probably Five, a boy band.
Yeah,
I liked Five. I used to sing them all the time. So I'm not gonna lie, their first album is a banger. It's amazing.
We're gonna have to cut that last bit out, guys.
Five a boss.
And with Mike, I mean, what's his backstory there?
With Mike, I think he got into bass because his brother was a drummer. His brother Steven's been in bands for years, and he's a drummer. And I think he asked him just out of the blue, just so like, do you want to play bass for one of our bands or something? And he obviously didn't know how to play bass at that point, so it like gave him a reason to learn and to be involved. His favorite band is The Cure, which is like it's like a weird, for someone who plays like modern rock and metal, like a hybrid of sorts. Like The Cure is this very strange, strange favorite band for like a hard rock bassist. But yeah, it's pretty mad.
It is. That was quite surprising to hear that, actually. I've got nothing against The Cure.
Well, like,
yeah, I mean, they're my brother-in-law's favourite band, actually. But I remember talking to him when he was much younger, and he was sitting there watching The Cure on TV. I looked at it, I said, well, if that's The Cure, I'd hate to see what the bloody disease is like. Never let me forget that. But yeah, I've grown to like them more since. But how about Joe? Where's his sort of roots? Where do these roots lay musically?
Maiden, wasn't it?
Maiden, yeah. I think his epiphany lay with hearing Iron Maiden for the first time. I'm pretty sure. I think guitar was a sort of a way to keep him out of trouble.
Yeah.
Like he'd show those pictures of what he looked like in his early teens, and told the stories about what he used to get up to and stuff.
Yeah.
And sort of music was almost like something like a medium through which he could express himself, and it kept him on the straight and narrow sort of thing. His favorite band's Iron Maiden. He's a very dedicated guitar player. He's constantly honing his craft. He's worked at it for years and years and years. Like, and it really shows. Like the sort of that level of ability where you're not entirely sure if he's learned how to do anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, does he know how to eat or wash himself, or has he just spent every waking second playing guitar? Like,
It's
no, he's
definitely,
a phenomenal player. You can tell he's put the work in.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's definitely because we'll be in rehearsals and we'll be talking something, and we'll just like we'll say like a pop cultural reference or something, and he'll just start playing it on guitar. I'm like, how do you know that?
Yeah.
Like, even then, like randomly, we would like talk. We were talking about, I think it was Resident Evil, and they had like a Thomas the Tank Engine mod, and then he just starts playing the Thomas the Tank Engine theme, like just stuff like that.
It sounds like he's a musical sponge and just like soaked up,
Totally.
Yeah, here's a song once, and then he's just like, oh yeah,
There it is.
okay then.
It's a remarkable talent, I gotta tell you.
Yeah.
I feel the world, I must be strong. Whoa, you're better than I. It's now or never, it's do or die. Whoa, until the end of time, until morning's break, I'll fight for my life. Ah!
Right, guys. So, can you tell us where people can find out all about you online?
So our website, to reiterate, www.ashenreach.co.uk. That has multiple regions of information loaded, plus the store that we previously mentioned. So be sure to head over there. And everywhere else, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, it's just at Ashen Reach.
Mhm.
There's no one else. It's just us.
We're on Spotify, Deezer, iTunes, stuff like that as well. Like all like music streaming sites. We're on there. We've got YouTube as well. Just type in Ashen Reach, and there's we have different videos on there. We got like lyric videos, music videos, tour diaries as well when we go on tour.
Aye.
There is one from the pre-Rona tour as well.
Aye.
That's on there, two-parter. There's a bit where Jess is trying to eat her food. I just keep grabbing a Coke and shaking it on her, and she just rages. She just fumes.
Yeah.
Like the motorway service station chronicles, where you're just that knackered from sitting in the van, your neck and your back's all fucked.
Yeah.
So the only relief you can get is just by pissing your mates off.
Yeah, so yeah.
And then the whole album's up there as well. All the individual tracks are up from the album, so just like audio only. So yeah, be sure to go and check out Ashen Reach everywhere.
Yep.
Excellent, lovely. One last question, actually, that has only just occurred to me. Where did the name Ashen Reach come from?
Paddy can answer that one.
Basically, like, we're well into our video games, and I've been playing a game for like 2 years now called Sea of Thieves. Funnily enough, I've actually got a tattoo from the game. If you can see that.
Yeah.
And that's next level dedication to a video game. That I'll tell you. And basically, there's an island in that game that's like a big volcanic, like lava fueled island called Ashen Reaches, and it's like volcanic. There's explosions coming out of it all the time. All these big giant boulders, and it seemed to fit with what we had in mind at the time for something, exciting and a little bit crazy, I guess. But yeah, we obviously tweaked it a bit and made it different, but
Took the end of it.
It's basically an evolution of something from a video game, in short.
No, that's great. Yeah, it's always interesting to know where, because it's not the sort of name that would trip off without some sort of inspiration. So it's always good to know where these names come from. Well, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to the two of you, and all I can do is wish you that every success with Homecoming, and every success for Ashen Reach in whatever the future holds. None of us know at the moment, and hopefully we can all get vaccinated and get out there and get the gigs again.
Oh, cannot wait to gig again.
Oh,
Can't wait.
I'll bet. I mean, it's a bit of a drought, but we will get through it. Yeah, and I think next year could be very different. So let's hope we can get you down London way yet next year, and
we'll play
Defo
anywhere.
thing is
Like we
cool.
will play any venue. Like we just want to get out and tour.
yeah. Well, my back garden's free, you know.
We're on our way. We're on our way now.
We've revved up the van.
Yeah. Go, absolute pleasure. You've been great. Thank you so much, and yeah, fingers crossed
Thanks
for
for
the
your,
future.
thanks very much for your support, and thanks for having us. Sure, I speak for everyone when I say your contribution, one of many, but every little helps. I remember parceling up your CD.
Yeah.
Saw the name Nick Luxford. I was like, I remember him.
With my little note as well, That's a nice touch, by the way. The little personal touches really help.
Oh yeah, we wanted to do something like that because it was, I spent 14 hours getting writer's cramp. Bloody, it's going through the list of everyone who'd, but we really did want to say thanks because it was massively appreciated, and every donation was important as every other, and ultimately it got us to where we are now. So thank you very much indeed.
Well, you're very welcome, and I'll speak for all of the contributors to the Kickstarter campaign in saying that our leap of faith was well rewarded. So thank you guys, and we'll see you on the other side.
Thank you very much indeed.
Cheers.